For God works all things for the good of them that love him, for the good of them who are called according to his purpose.
Our address, physical services, 106 9th Road, King in Johannesburg. My number is +2782 456 9264. We shall surely be blessed. May God bless you, and I look forward to receiving you. Amen.
Hello, everyone. Welcome tonight. Good evening to you all and those who are watching me for the first time. I'm Abi Adenigba, and I'm here tonight to share the time with you. And today we're going to look at something new. We're going to look at, certain areas of our life that we want to make some advancement and perhaps to get ourselves out of a certain cage. And that cage I want to talk about in this series is the cage of the feeling of failure, the cage by the event of failure or adversity, disappointment that we experience. And it takes, the heart of a leader to feel certain dissatisfaction or failure where it may have happened, either in business or in marriage or in a community setup, or in fact in your appointment, your leadership of a corporation. So today I want to talk about that failure is not final, and that's what I've come to talk about tonight. And I hope that you're going to really make some note out of my talk tonight. Now, failure is an event, and in this talk I want to discuss what looks as if it failed, the effort that yielded no fruit, and that's what I want to talk about. So in this case, there are business ideas that may have crumbled in the face of adversity, certain processes that may have not fulfilled its purpose, and it looks as if it failed. This event is catalogued as a failure, but I want to see it in a different light, and I want you to look at certain events that may have disappointed you and try to find within that disappointment a new appointment. And that's what I want to deal with. To anyone who is determined to succeed, it's not a good feeling to suffer a defeat. It's not a good feeling to suffer the experience of a failure, a shame, or like a breakdown of some sort, a breakdown in marriage, a breakdown due to bad leadership of your corporation. And so today I want to look at that area, and I want to move you from that position of the feeling of failure, and I want you to realize that it's not the end of the world. And that's why I'm saying failure is not the final. At some point, this failure becomes your inner thought, a thought of the end of the road, a loss of opportunity. Some individuals, they see failure as the last chance because of a big mess of the business that may have gone bankrupt or liquidated in your own eyes. And even sometimes, a closure of your business, a closure of even the church ministry that has to close. In your eyes, it looks as if it's a failure. But I want you to know that whatever it's a failure, a closure of a certain dream or a venture, Like I mentioned, it can be a business, it can be a closure of business, a closure of partnership, a closure of even a church. I want you to see that there is something new that is prepared in that event. And I want you to see it that it's not the final end. There is always a new realm of opportunities. So this talk is to say that failure is not final. If you fail to accomplish an important landmark in your life, it doesn't mean that there are no other mark to make in life. So you need to understand that failure is never final, and that is what I want to achieve in this segment of my talk. Now, let's look at what failure is. A failure is an act that failed. The absence of success in a venture. That's what failure is. Failure is an event that didn't achieve the intended purpose according to the dictionary. And so we see failure as when a task could not be completed, and therefore it's marked to be unsuccessful. A failure is a kind of a miscarriage of a venture, a miscarriage of dream and expectation that becomes a miscarriage, a loss. A failure is when what you have attempted did not succeed, but good enough that you attempted it. And that's what I'm saying. What you attempted yesterday and it did not work, it failed, it's not the final. So failure is not final. It's not final, and what I meant by that is that what failed or where you have failed does not terminate your future. Where you have failed does not terminate your potential that is yet to be discovered. And that's why you need to receive my talk and get yourself up for the next chance that is waiting for you. You may be a leader. There is never a shame for a leader who has attempted a venture, who has attempted an idea, and if it did not flourish or it did not work, it's never a shame. It's never final. And so today we're looking at this as introductory level, and we're going to look at some examples. So to not being final, failure not being final, is that the event of failure of an idea that you have invested does not terminate the future chances, does not terminate the future potential. And that's what I meant, that failure is not final. I want you to draw back and reflect what you may have failed in, and you have closed it up. The idea you have failed in, the venture that has failed, the certain things that you have done that did not work, programs that you have packaged that did not yield fruit. I want you to see it, that it's not final. You need to revisit. You need to revisit that idea. As we're going to see in this series, that certain failures requires that you change direction. Certain failures requires that you change place. Certain failure requires that you even change the people in your team. That's what we're saying, that event of failure is not the final. It does not terminate the best that you still carry. And that's my objective of this series. It's not final. Because the enemy of success is the event of failure. The enemy of success is the event of failure, because certain event of failure can close someone's life. Certain event of failure can actually put down someone and he never rises again. But I'm saying today that this failure experience is an event, is an experience, and it does not terminate what you can still do tomorrow. You know, this failure, like I said, is an enemy of success. Why? Because we find out that when people failed in a task, they give up trying again. But yet there's a success that lies ahead of them. There are better things that is laid upward for them to attain. So failure is an enemy of success when it hinders you from trying more. That's what I meant, that failure is an enemy of success. That big disappointment and adversity that you witness can be an enemy, an hindrance to your next level of success. And that's what I'm saying. Failure is not final. And I want you to reflect on what I'm talking about, because you need to have a depth of what I'm saying. You need to have put your hands in certain things, maybe early this year or last year, that did not yield your expectation, that the outcome did not really fit into your expectation, and it appears to be failure. But I want to tell you that it's not final. It's not final, because this event of failure is the enemy of success that waits for you. The big disappointment that you receive from people, it's not final. You need to look through the disappointment. You need to look through them. You need to see it with a different lens. You need to see failure with a different mindset. Because if you have not attempted the very thing that failed, that means you mean nothing to this world. You mean nothing to this world. If you attempted nothing, you mean nothing to this world. And I want to show you during the course of my discussion, those who have attempted big things, those who have invented, the innovators who have failed and they came back with the same invention in another dimension and they have become successful. Those are models of success which came after some failure. That failure did not terminate the future that they saw and the future that they are in right now. And this is what I want to take you to. So I do not know your state of affairs right now. I do not know what is going on, but I know at this time of the year, the month of September, in my part of the world, it's a season of preparation for summer, for harvest, for launching. It's a summertime. We're moving from springs into summer. I don't know what part of the world you are, but you need to look at your world with a bigger mindset and begin to prepare to take on another task despite yesterday's failure. You need to see the moment like this month of September as a kind of a last run before the chronological year ends. That's what I'm saying. The failure is not final. I don't know what your experience is from the beginning of this year or from last year. But what I'm just saying is that you can pick it up from where you left it. That's what I'm saying, that failure experience is not the final. So, in this series of talk that failure is not final, I have come to stir you up. I've come to stir up your hope. I've come to stir up your strength for a new thing that is still possible. And that's what I'm saying. What happened yesterday is not a final, it's not a termination of your potential. Because if you are slack in the day of distress, your strength is limited. If you are slack in the day of distress, your strength is said to be limited. This is a word of wisdom. And you need to understand that the failure, yes, when things fail, it causes a distress, really. You become depressed. We have seen so many leaders of today who went through the same experience and they were depressed. But when you carry so much of, so much inside of you that you are yet to lay out, you will override the event of failure. When you carry so much, when you believe what you carry, you will override the feeling of that failure. You will overcome that feeling of distress. You will overcome it. And that's what I'm saying, that you need to see it. That this failure, this disappointment, this closure of this business is not the end. It's not final. It does not terminate the opportunities of tomorrow. You need to try your hands on what is on your mind. And so, same with the experience of failure and dissatisfaction. Perhaps with your personal ambition, you can become disappointed, but it's not final. It does not terminate what you can still do. Find that your ambition is not falling into place. Your dream is not coming to reality, and you find out that, I have failed in this. No, you have not failed. It's just an event. It's just a temporary disappointment that you may have found. You may find yourself being stagnated in a certain place and you are not able to move. You are not able to think. You are not able to, to unleash that thing that is inside of you. And you find yourself that, no, I'm trapped. Sometimes some relationship can be a trap for your potential. Some relationship can be a trap for your potential, and you may be having that feeling of failure in you. So I'm saying that it's not final. There is always the way out to find fulfillment. You might find out that there is a flop outcome of your financial investment. It does happen, but I want you to see today that this failure is not final. This flop investment is not final. It's not a roadblock. So the failure event is not a roadblock. Rather, you should consider a change of direction. You should consider a change of direction. You develop a new capacity to override the experience of failure. And that is why the failure that you experience will not terminate your potential. And you need to move on. You need to ride on. You need to begin to formulate the new concept. You need to begin to reflect on the lessons from the failure event as to bring it forward as an opportunity to do things in a different way. And that is what I have come to share with you, that failure is not final. It's an event. It's an experience. And this is what I've come to steer you up, particularly in this month of September. In the last run or last quarter of the year, you can still lay your hands on something that will give you that fulfillment that you desire. And that is why I'm coming with this. In this series, we're going to look at some individuals, those who have made a landmark, those who have become a household name, how they were able to, to come back, how they were able to be flexible in the face of failure, and they become, a success story. And that's what we're going to learn. That's what we're going to see. You know, some people, they lost their position, but they were able to regain it back. So many things can cause a failure. The marriage that did not work can be a failure, but I can tell you, it might be a beginning of a new thing. So depends on your mindset. And in this series, I want to enrich your mindset. I want to renew your mind as for you to comprehend the will of God for your life. And that is why I've come with this topic, that failure is not final. And so today, we have looked at what failure is. That failure is an act that failed, is the absence of success in a venture. That failure is just an event that didn't achieve the intended purpose, and that should be heavy. That what you do, what you attempted, and you did not see that achievement of the very purpose for which, or the intention for which you attempted it. That's what failure might mean, but there is a way out. You need to see that it's not final. All you need to do is to regather yourself, reformulate your strategies, learn from the past, and take a good lesson from the adversity in order to pursue a new opportunity. And that is what I want to be sharing as we go ahead in this series. And that's where I would want to leave it tonight, and we'll continue from there. And I really appreciate you attending tonight's talk, and I pray that you really, take this word of tonight and use it for yourself. Until next week again, we shall continue on this series. My name is Abe Adenigba from Shekinah Institute for Leadership and Entrepreneurs, and that is where I'm drawing this talk to share and to encourage you as you move to the last quarter of this year, the last race for the year, and that there is still a big opportunity that lies ahead for you. Thank you for listening. May God bless you and have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. For God works all things for the good of them that love him, for the good of them who are called according to his purpose.
Our address, physical services, 106 9th Road, King in Johannesburg. My number is +27 82 456 9264. You shall surely be blessed. May God bless you, and I look forward to receiving you. Amen. Amen. This is Abe Adenigba. I'm the pastor of Shekinah Fellowship Ministry, and I'd love to give you this invitation to you and your family to join us on our services. On Sunday morning at 9:30 is Bible class, and also at 10 a.m. is our celebration service till 12 noon. And also we stream these services from 10:30 for those of you who cannot make it to in-person service, from 10:30 to 12 noon as well. And I want to just encourage you that come the way you are, and I promise you, by the will of God, you will live a different person. Also, our midweek service is Tuesdays at 6:30 on Tuesday. That's a live broadcast on my Facebook at facebook.com/Abe Adenigba. And that we give you curriculum from our Shekinah Institute, which is on leadership and entrepreneurs. So please join us and you'll be blessed. Our address for in-person service is 106 9th Road, King, Sante, Johannesburg. My number, my WhatsApp is +27 082-456-9264. I look forward to receive you, and may God bless you for receiving this invitation. God bless. Amen.